Hello, my name is Desirrae Thomas. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the local campaign manager at Amplify Georgia Collaborative. And today I'm here to tell you about how to give public testimony in like a government meeting. So, how to feel confident, things you might need to know if you're new to that process. And so, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just talk about some general steps and general tips for giving public testimony. And then we'll go on and talk more about like how to get to City Hall and things you should expect. And so for our general tips, here are a few things that you should keep in mind as you're getting ready to give your public testimony. And the first thing is make sure you arrive early to sign up. Usually signups close when the meeting starts. And so if the meeting starts at noon, you probably want to get there no later than like 11:30 to make sure that you can sign up. And people will get to speak in the order that they sign up. If you don't want to speak when you sign up, you'll have the option to cede your time. So if you decide, actually, I don't want to do this, but you can give your time to another person, you can write their name down in the appropriate column, and then your time will be given to them so that they can speak longer. Another helpful tip, don't bring prohibited items into a government facility. I know that feels very obvious, but as a reminder, make sure you don't take any weapons, drugs, signs, posters, contraband. Make sure you leave all that stuff at home. You don't want to leave your government ID at home. You want to make sure that you bring that with you because you will need that as you're going through security in these buildings. You do have to go through a metal detector, and so that's why you want to make sure you leave contraband at home because they do check those things. And so once you get up to speak, it's important to remember to share your name, your district, and what your personal tie to the issue is. In some places, like in DeKalb County, you have to give your address rather than just your district. But sometimes it's just your district. And so they want to make sure that you live in the area or work or have some kind of connection to the area to which you're trying to speak. So if you live or work in Atlanta, then they want to know like where in Atlanta that you live or work. And so it's important to share that and what your personal tie to the issue is. What brought you here today? What made you want to get up and testify in front of a governmental body about whatever thing it is you're up there to talk about? And so it's important to like tie that in. It's important to also remember that your testimony will be recorded and it'll likely be put online. And so you want to remember that in the case you have any concerns about being recorded and put in a broadcast space, just remember that it will be recorded and they do typically broadcast those and house them online so people can look back at them later. So you want to make sure that if you come into this meeting, you are not cheering, you're not jeering, you're not making any kind of noises. You may be asked to leave a meeting. And in some instances, they have people escorted out by like Capitol Police or GPB or whatever. You want to make sure that you are not making any kind of distractions in the meeting. And so next step, make sure that your public comment is capped at around 2 minutes. It's important to know how much time you have because they cut your mic when it's over, and they are really hard about those deadlines, especially in meetings where a lot of people have signed up to speak. You want to make sure that you're keeping it at about 2 minutes. And so it's actually a little bit better if you probably prep it to be shorter, because many of us can talk longer when we're nervous or we're uncomfortable or not feeling super confident. It may take you longer to get through it. And some people really speed through things when they're nervous. I'm a fast talker when I get nervous. And so for me, I can normally write a little bit longer because I will probably get it through in there. But it's pretty about a page is about where you want to stay. Normally you can do about a page in 2 minutes. But test it. You definitely want to practice before you give your testimony. That way you're familiar with what it is you're trying to say. And so you aren't trying to fumble for your words and you know that you can stay within that 2 minute deadline. So you definitely want to practice probably in front of a mirror and time yourself and make sure that you can stay around those 2 minutes. So next thing you want to remember is to think about why you're speaking and make your public comment personal. So share a story about why this issue has personally impacted you or your family. And those kinds of things make your comment more memorable and more impactful because it's personal to you. And so keep that in mind as you're writing your testimony, that it's okay to be a little personal and talk about you. This is exactly the time to talk about you because these are our government officials. They represent us. And so it's important for us to share our stories and our experiences with them, especially when we're up advocating for something. It's rare, but occasionally members of the body may want to ask you questions. And for those, you can just answer to the best of your ability. Sometimes it feels like they're trying to ask you a gotcha question to get you caught up in something. So just make sure you think through it and answer just to the best of your ability. There are no right or wrong answers. You didn't come up here prepared for a Q&A. And it's important that you don't do anything you feel uncomfortable doing. So if you don't know, you can say that you don't know, and that's perfectly fine. Speak clearly and speak confidently and try your best not to feel nervous. These officials work for us. They represent us. We put them in office. We can take them out of office. So it's important for them to do their job and to listen to the needs of their constituents, and that's us. And so you have every right to be in front of them and to be talking about the thing that's important to you. And so keep that in mind as you're giving your testimony. Like, these are just people. They're just people who got elected to office, and it's our job to hold them accountable. If you check in our handy dandy public hearing talking points and helpful tips guide, you'll have a link in there. Our partners at the New Georgia Project have put together a handy municipal advocacy guide with some more steps and hints and just giving you a little bit more background information about how municipal government works. And so we've linked to that in our helpful info guide. So next thing we're going to talk about is how to get there. And so this is specifically about getting to Atlanta City Hall and the state capitol, because these are places that are so close together. But this applies in any county that you're trying to get access to. You can still go to that place and speak in front of whatever body it is, as long as they're allowing public comment, and you can sit in on meetings and that kind of thing. But here in Atlanta, trying to get to City Hall and the state capitol, which are diagonally across the street from each other, if you can get to one, you can get to the other. Taking public transit is always a good idea. It's always a good idea because parking at City Hall can be limited, especially at certain times of the day, like right before work, early in the morning, and then right in the afternoon when folks are getting off work. It can be really congested down there. So if you can, take public transit. City Hall is less than a 10-minute walk from either the Georgia State Station on the East Line or the Garnet Station on the South Line if you're taking MARTA. And if you're not going to take public transit and you're going to, no, you're going to drive, parking. If you put City Hall into a GPS, it'll take you to the correct place. It will take you to Atlanta City Hall. The main entrance to that is on Trinity Avenue Southwest. And while you're driving, it's important to remember that the street parking around City Hall, that's all paid parking. And so you do need to be prepared to either put it in your phone in the parking app or have a card ready to put into the machine to pay for the parking. It's about probably close to $10, depending on how long you're planning to stay down there. And that also applies if you're going to the Capitol. It's all paid parking, so you want to make sure you're prepared to pay for that parking. If you need free parking, like I always do when I go to the Capitol or City Hall, there is street parking around the Capitol Gateway Apartments, and you can put that into your GPS. And they're about a 10 to 15-minute walk to the Capitol or the City Hall from there. And you can just GPS that if you're able to. It's Capitol Gateway. It's not hard to find. It's right off Memorial, and it's right near City Hall, maybe a couple blocks. And so those are the important things you need to remember as you're giving public testimony. Feel confident. Again, these are elected officials who work for us, and in the meetings, it's their job to be checked in. And sometimes you'll look at them and they'll be playing on their phone, or they won't be, paying attention to you. And that's annoying. But the thing that it brings home for us is that some people are checked out of their job, and maybe it's time for us to elect them out, And so those are the kinds of things you should keep in mind as you're going through giving your public testimony. It doesn't have to be hard. It's only about 2 minutes. And you're talking about something that you know a lot about. You're talking about your personal experience and why you care about whatever issue it is that you're up there talking about. And so feel confident, and don't be afraid to speak up and make your voice heard, because that's what they're there for. They're there to hear you. And so I hope this was helpful. And if you have any other questions, you can always reach out to Amplify at admin@amplify-ga.org. And you can find us all over social media. So hopefully we'll see you there. Right now, the city of Atlanta is in the middle of its budgeting process. So they're trying to figure out how the money's going to be spent for fiscal year 24, which starts on July 1st. And so right now they're in the process of trying to get the budget done. And they are having one budget meeting that's open to the public. And it's happening on Tuesday, June 6th at 6:15 at City Hall. And so I wanted to give you some information about what it is we're asking for in this budget. And so our ask for the budget is for the city of Atlanta to continue funding abortion. Last year, the city of Atlanta became the sixth city in the US and the first city in the Southeast to fund abortion care. They donated $300,000 to ARC Southeast, which is our local abortion fund, Access Reproductive Care Southeast. And so we are hoping that this year they allocate $500,000 in the city's budget for funding abortion through ARC Southeast. ARC Southeast provides funding to Georgians to cover the cost of their abortion procedures and provide logistical support for things like travel, lodging, childcare, things like that, so that people can get to their appointments. And this funding has become even more crucial with the South all but outlawing abortion, forcing people to travel further, and they'll probably be likely more further along in their pregnancies. And so it can be harder for them to get an abortion and more costly for them to get an abortion. And so it's so important for the city, which has said that they care about reproductive justice, to really put their money where their mouth is. And so we want to make sure that the city upholds their commitment to reproductive justice. And so what we need you to do is to reach out to your city council person, reach out to them, reach out to the mayor's office, and let them know how important it is that the city upholds its stated commitment to reproductive justice and abortion access. And so if this is something that they care about for real, they need to put the city's money where its mouth is, right? So if you want to, and I encourage you to, reach out to your city council person, reach out to the mayor's office and let them know that this is important and they should be funding abortion care. You can find out who your city council person is at this website that's here on the screen. You can also email the council president, Doug Shipman, and Mayor Dickens, and both their contact information is right here on the screen. And it's also in our helpful info guide that we have to let people know about giving public testimony and what this budget process is looking like. And so we have all that info linked there, and we're going to link to it down here too. And so here's a template. We made it so easy for you. All you have to do is like copy and paste this and put the names where the names go. And so you can send this to Mayor Dickens, you can send it to the city council council people or the city council president, Doug Shipman, and just let them know. It lays out very much that we are grateful that last year they gave Access Reproductive Care Southeast $300,000. That's fantastic. The first city in the Southeast to do that. But things have gotten more dire in the last year. We really want to let them know that like it's so important that today you increase that funding, you reaffirm and expand your commitment to reproductive justice, because it is so hard for people to access care, not just here in Atlanta, but in the South writ large. And so we really want to make sure that the city of Atlanta is living up to its values. And so budgets are value statements. And right now, the city of Atlanta's budget says that 1/3 of their funding is going to policing and incarceration when it could be going to other things. And so we want to make sure that we get those other things highlighted. And so this is one of the things. And so this is the email template that you can use to reach out to them. And this is also a phone script, a sample phone script that you can use if you want to call and leave a message or talk to someone in that office. But you can call and leave a message and let them know, like, hey, this is what I care about. And here's why. Make sure you tie it into yourself. Why do you think that this is important? Why do you care about this issue? Why do you think we should have abortion funding? If you need help figuring that out, we have some talking points here that you might find helpful as you're crafting your testimony. You can reference these if you need to, but if you feel comfortable writing your testimony without them, more power to you. But here's some good talking points that we have. And again, these are linked these are living in our helpful info guide. And so if you tune into that, you'll be able to have these right in front of you as you write your testimony. And so here's a sample of those. It gives some background about why the funding is so important, and also where people have to go. It's going to cost folks a lot to go to Maryland, DC, Illinois, or New York to get an abortion. And we want our elected officials to stay focused on our health, our safety, and our ability to make decisions about our families and what we want to do with our bodies. And so here are some more talking points there. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you feel comfortable giving public testimony about the budget. The budgeting process in Atlanta is not over yet. We have until the end of June. And so if this abortion funding is not in there today and after we give our testimonies, then we have the next 3 weeks to make sure they get it there, because we're not going to give up and we're not going to stop. And so if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at admin@amplify-ga.org, or you can find us on social media. We're everywhere. And so look for us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You'll find us. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.